letter to them was kind of like, this is a part of our tribal customs, is to take care of one another. So we need to really do that if we're going to say that we're tribal people. So I'm hoping tribal council, you know, agrees to donate funds to this cause. I think it'd be a great thing. But yeah, Minneapolis. So when Renee Good passed, I was just like having these nightmares, and the nightmare that kind of like nudged me to say, okay, I need to go. I was dead sleep and I was having these crazy dreams. I've been dreaming really crazy lately. I don't know about you guys, but really, really vivid, like lucid dreams. I was having a dream that people were breaking into our house. Men were breaking into our house, and
I wonder why.
As you may or may not know, I have a partner. I'm a lesbian, and we have an adopted daughter. And so, like, naturally, when you see another queer person get murdered in the streets, naturally you kind of like start to freak out, and you start to like really look at people differently and how they're reacting and what they're saying out loud. Kind of makes you nervous as a queer Native person. And so I had this dream that men were breaking into our house, and then in the next flash, I was having a dream that I was standing on a line of people, and we were resisting something. It wasn't necessarily a protest, but we were like, people were coming at us, and we were just standing. And I woke up from the dream, and I looked at my wife, and I just was like, we have to go to Minneapolis. And she's like, are you crazy? Like, she literally just got shot in her car. Like, we have a daughter, you are a teacher, you know, like, we're Native, we're brown, like, we would be subject to something like this. And I just said, no, like, that dream just, like, made me think, like, you need to go. And so we didn't know what to expect. I was writing Lois, I was writing Heather Miraz, I gave my sisters a will. I was just like, I didn't know what to expect or like what was gonna happen. Just like, you know, we're all doom scrolling, we're seeing these videos of what's happening, and like protesters are just standing there and they're tackling people to the ground, they're spray painting, they're pepper balling them. And so I went there. I have friends that live in Minneapolis, you know, and I was kind of getting the 411 on different activists in the areas that I could trust with information of where to go and what to do. And so we showed up to there was a larger protest there, and we showed up, and it was much like our protest. You know, they had speakers, and then we marched through Minneapolis, and one of the stops that we made, we actually got stopped by the police, and they came out of their vehicles, and they threatened to use lethal gas agents on us. And they had their whole brigade of, you know, men masked up with their batons out, and I obviously stood on the sidewalk, but there were people that were in the street, like forcibly creating a wall to try to like block them from making us move back. And you know, my wife Bridget, she's very shy. She's not outwardly like me, and I just kind of was like, no, we have to stay here. This is my dream. Like, this is like, we have to stand here. Like, this is literally what we're doing. And in that moment, the police just like went back in their cars and they left.
Wow.
And I was just like, this is it. Like, this is like this is what I remembered, you know, in my dream. And then from then on, we just carried our protest, and everyone was in the streets. I mean, there was probably, I want to say, close to 2,000 people just walking in the street. It was so awesome. I mean, just to like, talk to strangers next to me and just being like, thanking each other for being here. That was just so cool. And then we went to Renee's memorial site, and it had been a week since that whole event had happened, and so there was other people there, obviously, and there was like some guarders, like people guarding the site, because I guess there was some people trying to agitate people that were there, and so there's like guarders there that are like guarding the site. And so we laid our tobacco down, you know, just praying and whatnot. It's still very emotional. And my wife hadn't been to George Floyd. Well, in 2020, I took my Finlandia basketball team because I was the head coach, and I took my Finlandia basketball team, a bunch of girls that have never been in a city. And this was a powerful movement, right? It was like COVID, the social justice movement, and it's Coach D's on a rampage of like, you gotta go. So I have like 15 girls from the UP, white as can be, and we're like in the streets of Minneapolis, and like I remember being at the George Floyd and it being like very powerful for us, for the girls to see that. They needed to be there and see that. And so like when we went to Renee, my wife was taken aback because she's never been to anything like that, and you know, it was very powerful. And then I took her to George Floyd, and she's like, wow, like there's still a whole memorial there for him.